Yes, I can see you now.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, no, I'm okay. How are you guys? Thank you
Yes,
for the
very
free
well.
consultation.
Yeah. So looks like you still at work.
Yeah, I'm actually just finished work today. It's 5 p.m. here in the Philippines.
Ah,
So
yeah.
I just finished work.
All right.
Still have to office though.
Thank you very much, Richard. And again, thank you very much for participating and your interest in the workshop. I hope that the information is helping you to think about and helping you in your validation process.
So yeah, I'm quite excited to learn more about the validation process, and I did watch the previous live number one and number two,
Yeah.
and I went to the website, checked to see about those things. It's somewhat complicated, somewhat overwhelming because this is my first time trying to apply for this validation. So I might have questions later. So right now, I don't know.
You are a civil engineer.
Yes, I am. I am a civil engineer. So the thing about my background is it's more somewhat diverse. So I haven't specialized in one particular field here as a civil engineer, because mostly I've handled. Let's see, like you see behind me, work at the water district. So that's one field, and designing water tanks is also another field,
All right.
and doing the plans and the drawings, that's another thing. So that's multi-diverse diversity.
Yes. And you know, Richard, those experiences in designing water tanks and drafting and planning and drawings, they all good. You know, if you really want to use good experiences to write your career episodes, especially for
Right,
civil
right.
engineers, it's about more about the designing, more about calculations. Yes.
So my question is, there was I forgot what was there was somewhere at the top of my head. Um, Being an engineer associate, I had to deal with like being drafting, and then there's also another one that you also have. Oh, we need to have experience or a field in like what I do in designing. So that's another. So how does that work when I apply for the when I
Yes, in terms of your design experience, if you do have design experience in terms of work experience, that's good. But if you don't have design experience in at work, you can use the experience that you did at university. So let's say that you when you studied, you know, reinforced concrete, and you
uh-huh.
had to design like a structure as part of
Mm-hmm.
your subject as an assignment. You can use that experience to write your career episode
Uh-huh.
describing, you know, what was the process of, you know, talking to the customer, trying to do the design brief, um, types of materials, what was the technical standard that you used, the assumptions, how did you choose the material, the loads and the momentum, and those sort of things, you know?
But the thing is that was like more than a decade ago. I don't think I have any of those available at all. So what I'm gonna be using is more on the experiences I've had here
At work.
on the field.
All right.
That
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So what I can see behind you, is it pipeline? Is it pipes?
Yeah. Those are the pipelines for the main lines here in our city.
Yeah.
Those are, let's see, 450 mm.
All right.
So
Okay.
yeah, those are main lines.
And do you do some sort of design for that as well or not?
Ah, yes, yes, we do. Mostly on determining which pipe diameters we'll be using. Because one of the system we use is a gravity-fed water supply. So, and we just use IPANET. That's the only software that we're using.
All right. And that's a very good example, especially if you said that you designed water tanks, especially I imagine that the water tanks will be at the top of the hill, and then you're using gravity. You need to calculate, obviously, what's going to be the consumption, what's going to be the diameter of the pipes, what's going to be the flow, speed, velocity, and those sort of things, pressure. So those sort of inputs, obviously, when you're doing your calculation, that's what's very good to use in your career episodes.
So any results from the design that we use here, I can use it like in digital or in printed format.
Yes. And then when you're writing your career episode, you describe the process. The problem was to take the water from here to there, and with a population of these many people here, with an average consumption of this many liters per day, per person, whatever, and then you design the capacity of that water tank, and then they'll be using this much water per day. So with this flow and speed and the distance, etc., you will have to calculate then obviously the flow, the section, the diameter, how deep it's going to be, and then you just describe that, how you did it, what sort of a technical standard did you use. You can put the formulas that you used. If you then do the drawings in AutoCAD, take a screenshot of the screen, put in there, and you just describe, you just tell the story. You're just telling the story to the assessor, how you did it, what sort of engineering judgment you had to use, what sort of a technical background you had to use, what were the options that you used as well. Why did you calculate this? Why did you calculate that? Why is this better than the other option? And so the assessor can understand what did you think in doing that design, and obviously the outcome, the final result was that there was water supply using gravity to that particular community or population there.
I see. So it really has to be detailed.
Yes.
When doing the career. I see.
Yeah, not too much details. Obviously, you're not going to put all the calculations that you did. You just need to put a little bit so the assessor can understand that you've calculated something. It's going to be a right mix between, obviously, calculations and writing. So if you just put calculations there, the assessor is not going to check the calculations that you used, but yeah.
As long as explain it that why I did this, how I did this. Okay. I see.
Yeah.
So it really is gonna be like,
obviously 3 experiences. Yeah, for that. Yeah.
And I also have to include like screenshots of not necessarily the whole design results, but more like a screenshots of
yes. Yeah, when you're using your software, for example, You can take a screenshot of that software, and then, because when you describe in your paragraph that when you calculate that, you use that software as well. And then once you say that you put the software, you put a screenshot underneath, and you just put a reference screenshot of the software ABC that I used to design or to calculate this, and that, as a legend of that screenshot.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
And another thing, a certification from the place where I work, like here at the water district, the supervisor also need to like explain it that kind of level of detail, or
No, the certification is going to be more like just a reference letter. So yeah, just your supervisor saying that yeah, Richard is employed or has been employed, if it's an experience of the past, obviously, but if it is current experience, Richard is employed by our company as a civil engineer, and he started working with us. You put the date that you started until now, if you're still working there in the same company, and he works full-time for us in the company. His salary is this much per month or per year, and the main activities that Richard performs or performed are those ones, and then you put at least 5 main activities. If you have a particular project that you want to describe, you can include in that letter, and then your supervisor saying that you work very well in a team environment and have very strong engineering skills, and then he or she signs the letter, putting email and telephone number, and then print on the company letterhead. You know,
it has to
that's
be
it. Yeah, it has got to be in a letterhead, and it's a simple letter. Yeah, doesn't need to be more than 1 page. So yeah.
My supervisor is actually gonna be retiring because like she's like 60 something already. And by the time I apply for the verification, will it be okay if her replacement, which is still probably gonna be my new boss, but not my boss while I did most of the work while working here, would that be okay if the new supervisor would be doing the certification?
Yeah, that's okay. Either the new supervisor or somebody from the human resources department,
Okay.
owner of the company. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. Well,
As long as somebody from the company, because sometimes Engineers Australia may ring the company, and obviously they need to talk with somebody. Yeah, it's not common. I haven't heard about them ringing people, but it can happen. So yeah, it needs to be somebody that if they ring, they are going to be there.
They have to be there.
Yeah.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work if they couldn't contact my supervisor.
It's probably very difficult for them to ring, but just in case if they do, you know. Yeah.
I see. I see.
Yeah, it's very probably unlikely that they're going to contact the supervisor. Yeah, it looks like it's frozen a little bit. Can you still hear me?
Still here.
Yeah.
Okay, there.
Came back. All right. Yeah.
So, actually, I don't have any questions at the moment. Maybe our viewers have.
Now that's okay. Hey, Richard, if you have more questions later on, You know my Instagram. You can send me messages there, and we can have a chat. Yeah, it's not a problem.
Okay, cool, cool.
All right. Okay. No, thank you very much, Richard, for your participation, and again, thank you for participating in the workshop. And
Yeah, thank you.
I wish you all the best.
Yeah, I wish all the other applicants also all the best.
Yeah, thank you. Have a very good day.
You too, you too. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye bye. Yeah, that was Richard Jagonio, I think that's how I say it. And he was one of the lucky winners of the 15 minutes of free consulting. On Sunday, 8 p.m. Brisbane time, I'm going to do another live session, and I'm going to talk about the biggest fears during the validation process. And on that session, we will have Bruno, which was the other lucky winner of the 15 minutes of free consulting. And also I'm going to be answering some questions. So now I've got some questions here, and going to just going to get my questions there. Where's yeah. Hi, Luis. Yes, you can type in your question there if you want to. Just just trying to. I don't know. I don't know, Richard. Can you? I don't know if there is an X that you can close the window. Maybe. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, there's a question here. When I write my career. All right. So if you have questions, you can write in the comments. In the meantime, we will be answering some questions here. Yeah, there's a question here. When I write my career episodes, should I only use the jobs for which I've provided evidence of employment? Or can I also use the experience from jobs I've done for less than 12 months, even if I haven't provided reference letters from them? Yeah, that's a very good question. And this question, the answer is that every time that you use a work experience in your career episode, you will need to get your reference letter. If you don't attach your reference letter, it's probably the assessor, Engineers Australia assessor, will probably going to ask you to send a copy of the reference letter. And if you don't have it, well, then you may need to provide other documents, but that's not guaranteed that the assessor will accept other documents, okay? And those documents could be a statutory declaration, it could be your job contract, it could be your pay slips, it could be your position description, it could be your tax return. So there are a few documents that you could send just to make sure that you are proving that you worked in that company. But the reference letter is the document that your supervisor is confirming that you actually did that work that it is in your career episode. Yes, Luis. So Luis is asking here, when it comes to sending the resume to Engineers Australia and I don't have related experience in engineering, only my internship experience, how do I proceed? Should I write my unrelatedly job as professional experience? Uh, yes, Luis. If you graduated, let's say, 5 years ago, and if you never worked as an engineer, it says that in your CV, you need to have, after you graduated, you need to have your experiences, even though if you didn't have experience as an engineer. So if you worked with something else, you need to include in there. If you don't, if you don't include in your CV, if there are gaps in your CV, it's probably likely that the Engineers Australia assessor is going to ask you to redo your CV and include the periods that are missing. Experience as well. I asked because you said previously that it's important not to leave any gaps when sending the resume. Yes. So even if you didn't really have engineering experience, if you worked in something else, you will need to put that you worked in something else. But it's not much of a problem because Engineers Australia, they want to know about your if your degree is equivalent to an Australian degree. The only thing that you probably need to include is, since your graduation, is your CPD. Engineers Australia also wants to know that you got refreshed. You were recycling yourself since you graduated, keeping yourself up to date with technology, keeping yourself up to date with good practices in engineering. So if you don't have it, I strongly encourage you to start doing your CPD, your continuing professional development, so you can start accumulating your professional development events. There's a question in YouTube here from Ryan. Thanks, Ryan, for the question. If I mainly work on S-level projects, where does that leave me trying to produce my career episodes? Getting images, etc., would be practically impossible due to their nature. What S-level projects are, Ryan? Sorry, I may not, I could be understanding the wrong thing. So what do you mean about S-level projects? So if I mainly work on S-level projects, where does that leave me when trying to produce my career episodes? Getting images, etc., would be practically impossible due to their nature. S-level project, would that be a secret level projects like commercial in confidence or national security? It could be. If it is like a security level project, yeah, secret, yeah. I actually had one student of my mentoring program that, yeah, his projects were for the Defense Force as well. So he had obviously some top secret projects. He spoke with the company, and the company spoke with the defense, and they explained that he was just using those examples to write to Engineers Australia, and that was, and Engineers Australia, obviously, they don't disclose that. And the company agreed, and the Defense Force agreed as well. So what you can do, you can talk to your company, or even obviously talking to via your company, talk to your client and just explain to them that you are validating your qualification as an engineer, and there is a very good example of the work that you did or are doing for them. If they are okay for you to just use that, obviously very classified information, probably not going to put in there, but some of the screenshots and some of the content. Yeah, Engineers Australia is not going to disclose your information because it's just between you and Engineers Australia. All right. All the questions there. The question about CPD. I'm having a hard time finding items to add to my CPD. Besides actual work, I haven't done many relevant things since completing my undergraduate studies. Can I focus on adding technical visits and inspections I've done as a consultant engineer? I'd say that if you worked as a consultant engineer and you've done lots and lots of technical visits and technical inspections, as a consultant engineer, you probably were studying, reading technical standards, technical specifications, making sure that some of the safety aspects and environmental aspects were compliant as well. So I think that that particular study, which is private study, you can use as part of your CPD as well. Obviously, technical inspections and technical visits, if you had some learning, you can use that as your CPD event. But work as a technical consultant, I would imagine that you would have some study time, even if it is to read some of the, making sure that you following the technical specifications and so on. So you can use that time and that reading as part of your study, as part of your professional, continuing professional development. I've got a few more questions here, just conscious of time. So just to remind you guys that Sunday, just going to be opening here. I'm probably going to answer a couple of more questions and we'll finish. And while I'll open here, sorry, there is, so just to remind you guys that Sunday, 8 p.m. Brisbane time, I'm going to be doing the live session about the biggest fears during the validation process. And also I'm going to be delivering another free consulting. And also for those that participated in the workshop, you know that my mentoring program is open. You can still enroll it. And the enrollments are going to be closing this coming Sunday. And between today and Sunday, you still can have $400 discount. I'm going to put the link in here in the comments so you can check it out, check all the bonuses that are going to be included, and also the discount as well. And if you have any questions on the website, validationmentoring.com. So you can, I'm going to put in YouTube as well. So Carla, she wrote in Instagram. I have a question regarding YouTube.com. And if you have any questions on the website, there is a function that you can send me messages or send me messages in WhatsApp or here on Instagram. And I'm more than happy to clarify any question. So Carla, she wrote in Instagram, I have a question regarding, I believe, the professional summary statement. Some of my summary statements pertains to a similar subject. Is it okay if I just paraphrase? Don't quite understand understand. Some of my summary statements pertains to a similar subject. I'm probably understanding that you're probably trying to say that maybe the paragraph in your career episode, they probably similar to a few different competencies. Is that what you're trying to say, Carla? I have a question regarding let's say professional summary statements. Some of my summary statements pertains to a similar subject. It's okay if I just paraphrase. Well, the principle of the summary statement is that obviously you have the 16 competencies on the left-hand side column. And then in the middle column, you will need to write why you believe you have demonstrated those competencies. And then on the right-hand column, you will need to put the numbering, the number of that paragraph that is addressing that competency. So that's the principle of the summary statement. So there could be some of the paragraphs, because some of the competencies, some of them, they are quite interrelated. You may be using the same paragraph number in different competencies. That can happen. Unless you're trying to say, Carla, if it is the middle column, when you are writing why you believe you are addressing those competencies, if they are about the same experience, obviously it will be very similar. So, but because you're going to be writing about career episode number 1, career episode number 2, and career episode number 3 in the middle column, unless the 3 career episodes are very similar, they will differ a little bit. But it could happen that what you're writing in one competency could be very similar to what you're going to write in another competency. For example, PE 1.1 is about the theoretical and fundamentals of engineering. So you can say that you demonstrated that competency when you designed a particular, let's say, a particular machine. And then when you're going to write on PE 2.3, which is about design process, you're also going to write that you designed a particular machine as well, pretty much the same. You're probably going to be using some of the same paragraph numbers as well. So as long as they address correctly the competency, it's not really a lot of problem to be very similar, even to repeat the reasons why you believe you addressed that competency there, okay? All right, and if you think that this information is useful and the content is helping you, hit the like button. It doesn't cost you anything. It helps Instagram to spread the video and also to motivate me to keep going, okay? All right then, if we don't have any other questions, I would like to thank you guys very much, and reminding that this coming Sunday, we're going to have the live session 8 p.m. Brisbane time about the biggest fears in the validation process, and also the free consulting with